How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions. Well, you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. What do you call two monkeys that share an Amazon account? Prime mates. Prime mates, you know, Amazon Prime. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN. Like I was saying yesterday, I was unable to do a video for you guys. I was feeling under the weather, and I'm feeling really good right now, so I wanted to make sure I cranked out some videos for you guys, and of course, OCGN is going to be one of them. There's been a lot of volatility inside of the markets, and we're going to be talking about it, but of course, let's go over the agenda first. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. There's been a lot of volatility. We see a lot of small cap stocks that are getting hit hard, and I want to make sure I keep you guys inside the loop. Secondly, then we're going to be taking a look going on Fintel at the short interest information and as well as the recent institutional ownership. We want to know, are institutions loading up on shares, and does OCGN continue to have short squeeze potential? And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. Are institutions loading up on shares while OCGN is pulling back? We're going to find out. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $7.18, being up 1.70%. On the low, it tested $7.02, and then on the high, testing $7.36. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, we traded at 7.952 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 18.501 million shares. So even though we had well below average volume, we ended up seeing some strength inside of OCGN today. When we take a look at our chart, which we are using the 1-year daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 48.90. So yes, we are in the oversold territory. When we take a look at our chart, we have strength above the 200-day. We are below the 100-day. And in regards to the 21-day EMA, we are just shy below it because we close at 7.18 and it's at $7.41. And you guys know I love when OCGN is staying above the 21-day EMA. But what's really good to see is that we're holding up this $7 area of support. You've heard me talk about this in the past, and like I said, we're seeing a continuation of that. We tested $7.02 on the day, and we ended up showing some strength and closing at 7.18. So now, as far as the 21-day EMA is concerned, this now becomes the area of resistance for OCGN. We tested $7.36, so right away you can see as far as going into tomorrow, we want to be able to surpass this area and make that move going to 7.41, and that's where I look forward to seeing some momentum. Do keep in mind of the fact those are the resistance areas temporarily that we're dealing with right now. So once I want to see us get past this area of 740, I would look forward to seeing that move going to 750. So as far as $7, if it does decide to end up breaking, then the next level I'll be looking out for to see hold up will be right here around 680. So just wanted to make sure I got that clear for you guys. So around Fintel, we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and the short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here right today for the 17th, we have institutions going with positions. We have Ohio National Fund that went in with just over 25,000 shares, and we have the Metropolitan Life Insurance that went in with just under 52,000 shares. We also see Prudential Financial that went in with just under 15,000 as well. And even when we take a look at the 16th, yes, we do have some closed positions, but again, we do have some open positions here. As far as even UBS Asset Management Americas, they went in with just over 177K shares. So that is great to see, and we've been seeing, hey, institutions have been loading up. And one of the things that I want you guys to be aware of, this shows that, hey, they see that there's a potential return on investment. Now, when we take a look at the short interest information, the short shares availability is at 1.4 million, updated 17 minutes ago. And for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 5.75%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for August the 13th, which was last week, it was at 56.79. And as far as for the close on Monday, it's at 55.53. So taking all of this into consideration, OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential. But a great thing that is good to see is that institutions are continuing to load up on shares as well. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflow was at 11,775, and on the outflow it was 11,901. Now let's take a look at the breakdown. So we could see on the large it was 492, and then as far as on the large on the outflow side it was 281. On the medium it was 6,853, and then on the small it was 4,429. This is the inflow side. And then on the outflow side we already covered the large, so on the medium it was at 7,735, and then on the small it was 3,885. So we ended up seeing a lot more large scale orders for OCGN than compared to the outflow. And when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for the 16th it was at 1,329.9, and on the 17th, which is today, it was at 211.15. So while OCGN has been pulling back, institutions have been loading up on shares. And like I've said previously in the past, institutions are looking for a return on their investment. So what we need to actually take into consideration is, yes, the price is pulling back quite a bit. There's a lot of volatility, but this is the time, if you do believe in the long-term prospects, then this is where you want to be loading up on shares while they are fairly cheap. Of course, the stock can pull back, but you should have a game plan and a strategy in place to figure out what you want to do in regards to your cost basis, your cost average, or whether you're trying to average up or average down. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, there's a few things that I want to go over. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see institutions are continuing to load up on shares. We also do know, as far as institutions are concerned, they're looking for a return on their investment. So they're not going to be putting their money in stocks that they don't see have some kind of potential. So this is great to see, and I do believe brings on a bullish signal. Now, when we took a look at the short volume ratio in the short interest information section, we can see OCGN continues to have short squeeze potential. So if we have a lot of volume that is coming through the stock, or we have certain catalysts that end up coming through, for example, the EUL, then we could see some very strong moves in overall price action. Another thing we noticed when taking a look at the order flow distribution, we do have institutions who are loading up on shares for the past 2 days, and we can see this clearly from the large scale orders. So this is why I say, if you have a lot of high conviction in the plays that you're in, and OCGN is one of them, then you might want to look at some opportunities in regards to adding your position. I know many of you are looking into averaging down, or maybe some of you want to average up. And by seeing institutions load up on shares, you could use this as part of your homework and as well as your due diligence. Also, we do know, as far as what's going on inside of the market, we are seeing a shift. We're seeing a lot of growth stocks, and as well as medium and small cap stocks that are getting hit very hard. And part of the reasons being is a lot of growth stocks are not profitable. A lot of the big money is going into companies that are putting up solid earnings, and as well as the big tech. These are more reliable type of plays. So considering the environment that we're currently in, if your stocks are currently pulling back inside of your portfolio, this is the moment where you add to these particular positions you have high conviction in. I want to make sure I really emphasize that, because sometimes when the market is bloody and your portfolio is not looking the way that you want it, you just kind of get frustrated, or maybe you just start getting concerned. You're like, oh man, I'm just going to forget about this. And you know what? I completely understand what you're going through. But like I said, the best time to buy the stocks that you really like, or that you own and you want to keep for the long term, are on red days, during corrections, and during market shifts like these. Can things get worse? Of course it can. So this is part of the reasons why you want to make sure you have some cash cash on the side so you are prepared. Also, when I was doing some research on OCGN, I was seeing as far as Bharat Biotech, they want to come out with the nasal vaccine. They're doing trials right now and they want to use it as a booster alongside Covaxin. So I think, you know what, that is actually a pretty cool idea, and I can only imagine how convenient that can be if it ends up coming over to Canada and as well as the US. A lot of people do not want to be pricked with the needle. A lot of people fear the needles and so forth. But again, there's a lot of regulatory and a lot of approvals that need to come through. Let's just start with Covaxin, getting that EUL, and then moving on forward with Ocugen, making sure they can actually have things right with the FDA and as well as Health Canada. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.